to the break side with, in this case, Emilio. So Emilio has to guard all throws, but why does he have an advantage? Well, because if these guys have their arms wide, playing good defense, and I have to somehow send it over them, right? I have to somehow send it over them, which creates a more difficult throw, and almost always a throw that takes a longer time to get there. Does that make sense? What you'll often see from people who don't really like hammers is you'll see, no way, you'll see sort of floating, kind of lofty passes like that, right? Which, if John's playing defense, John's playing real defense for a second, I try to throw a little floating, wait. Well, with the Daniel's going to block. So if John can't get it, and Daniel can't get it, and Chris can't get it, then that is a very difficult throw. And it's probably a very lofty throw, which Emilio will then be able to get, theoretically, or the break side wing, whoever it is. That makes sense? So, let's transfer back. Lea's going to be our handler again. Rose, Jackson. Okay, so ready? And go. Go. And that's exactly right. Now this is pretty intimidating. Right? John, you need to be further back. See how you're covering more space in this. But let's say Bea now, our star handler, has decided to cut into this open area right here. We'll start it from back there. Alright? So instead, she comes in here. Whose job is to guard? That's right. So now let's do it with John guarding. And go. That's exactly right. See how John denies. Go back. Now what if Bea comes in from over here?
As in from here?
Yeah. Go. Deny. But no, that's not really denying. Right? You let Bea pitch you. Ready? Go in. Deny. Getting in front. Okay? Now, you can even face me when you're denying, just like John did. So John never took his eyes off of me. Why did he not do that? Why did he do that? Don't worry about it. Why did he do that?
To see what your station is.
To see what I was looking at, to see where I was aiming, to see where my direction was going. Alright? Because what's dangerous about this? Well, if John comes in guarding the phantom person, comes in, and Bea, a good defender, comes across, well, John's turned around. Go. Oh, there. No. By the chair. That's good. And Chris is guarding people over here, and John's turned around, doesn't see me, and I have a wide open pass. This is a demonstration. I have a wide open pass to Bea right there, which is a very common throw. Alright? Same with, if John's in position, but Chris is denying Bea. Chris is denying Bea. Bea's here. Alright? But of course, that's a phantom person, and Bea's really over there. He's not denying this person, and I try to throw it right over. And I throw this little pass. Alright, Raymond's preoccupied. Chris is preoccupied. Boom, right there, right to Bea, touchdown. But now the field is wide open for exploitation. The problem with the trap is you're essentially going all in. We create turnovers. You're on a great defensive team. Alright? So trust in our defense. But great defensive teams recognize their weaknesses. One of them, Bea, right there. One of them is that little swing pass. All right? Thank you. One of them is Bea, right there. All right? So, another one is Chris is guarding here. Raymond's guarding here. John's guarding here. We got me locked in, and I'm like, all right, I'm the superstar of this team. That's how handlers normally act. I'm the superstar of this team. Let me break Jeff here and throw across field doing it. Whoa! I would have gotten that. All right? Jeff has the hardest job. How hard do you think your job is? Jeff has a hard one. All right? Because he has to guard straight up, essentially. We've now forced them to break it straight up and throw a 30-yard pass. That's great for a defense to force a team to do that. But you're liable. All right? So, try to throw. Just got to stop all of them. Alright? Alright, so I'm in this. Good. So everybody get the trap? Okay? We're going to be trapping on Friday. Okay? St. John's won't know what hit him. But St. John's has a lot of people who aren't afraid to throw creative passes. All right? And we have to recognize what our weaknesses are. All right? We're going over them again. If you guys crash the guard, there's going to be an opening that's created. If you guard properly, you're still going to be heavily contesting that opening. If you don't, you're not. So guard properly. Guarding properly, John, what does that include? Arms wide. Looking at the handle. Say it again. Low to the ground. All right? Looking at the handler, seeing what's going on, even if you're guarding one particular person. All right? That happens all the time. Camila, cut in. John, just put your arms up. Don't follow. There you go. That's bad defense. Alright, well, you're actually not allowed to guard with your arm. You're not allowed to do this. What you're theoretically doing is putting your hand out in front and you're following. Alright? And you're just denying that pass. And trust me, it throws a handler off to have a guy whose hand is right there. Denying. You're not allowed to stop them. You're not allowed to move them with your arm. Alright? All you're allowed to do is deny the passing. Yes, they're 100% allowed to go through. They should go through. It's a good offensive play. Alright? But you've got to stay on them. You've got to stay in front of them. You've got to stay with them. Okay? The other main pass that's a problem, okay, full field swing, as I discussed. Okay? You're not going to be able to stop this. That's up to Jeff. Or Mark. Mark with a K. That's going to be a hard job to stop. Alright? And of course, the last thing, which will happen occasionally, is a little hammer throw to the back. Alright? Emilio's probably not going to be able to stop that. It's a nice long hammer throw, and it hits the just Alright? So, that's a dangerous throw. Alright? The other thing is, of course, you might go deep. That's going to be very common. I'm going to be deep rather than ever. Alright? Alright, now we're going to go into some hands. Everybody get that? Yes. Say yes, I don't want to not. Alright. So, now what I want to work on is what if you're poached. Alright, in the offense, the other thing we discussed today. So, set up our offense. I'm going to be handler. Who wants to be my thumb? Except John. Alright? So, this is how the offense looks. Okay? Make sense? Now, who wants to play handler? Thank you. Chris. Okay? We don't really need a dunk for this time. Yes, we do. So who wants to play dunk? No. We're replacing position. So that's where our offense looks like. Now we're going to go into the drill. Who wants to play the dunk? Okay, Jeff's going to play the dunk. Alright, so you three are in the stack, and John and I are going to coach. Okay? So a coach looks simply like this. We were guarding our man, but we cheat off of them, and now we're just guarding him. Alright, and if Bea marks.
Sorry.
Bea comes up and marks. Alright, good. That's fine. Alright,
He just goes like,
alright. You can tell that Chris is intimidated already. Imagine how intimidated he is when you start poaching as well. Alright, so when you're poaching, you have this whole area guarded. If you're poaching well, your arms are wide, even if you do look a little silly. Alright? So, when he's looking, make a cut that was a traditional cut. Alright, he comes in, that's denied. This is denied. And he clears again because he's clearly not. And you make your cut. Comes in, denied. Alright? Poaches will shut down our traditional cuts to the open side because this is no longer an open side. It's a very well defended side. Okay? So, what do? Daniel, what is your role? So, John was guarding you. I was guarding Amelia. So what would you do? That's exactly right. Did you hear him? He's going to go deep and draw the deep defender deep. Go. He should. We don't have to worry. So many things could happen. Actually. Yeah. Right now, we're sort of abandoning the traditional making cuts and all these things because they're not playing honest defense. So he's going to cut deep and sort of take that player out of the equation. Meanwhile, you have a man on you. I'm sorry. Emilio is going to cut into that open space that's created between the short deep and the deep poach. The short poach and the deep poach. All right, Emilio, right here. Right here. We'll just stand. Exactly. Right here. You see how he's almost equidistant between the deep poach and the short poach? Now Chris's job is to loft it over the short poach, curve it around, out of bounds. All right, hopefully I'll be the hammer that's happening. Just loft it over the short poach, give it a little curve, close it up. All right, and get it to that middle area. Now, stop. The play's not over. Look at our situation now. Danilio's free as a bird. All right? So Daniel, who has now been drawing his man deep, is going to cut 8. That will probably, it may or may not be successful. But now we're back into our offense. All right? So, Daniel, if the cut is successful, will get it, and what will happen? Raymond will make his deep continuation cut. But if he doesn't get it, what will happen? Daniel will clear back into the stack, and Raymond will make his cut anyway. Which will probably be a deep cut because the stack is still catching up. So we're back into our offense, which is nice. We've broken the poach. What if they set the poach up again? Jeff. Say an idiot. If they set up the poach again.
Should we do the same thing?
Yeah, we do the same thing again. It's really easy. Poaches are dishonest, and they get punished as a sinner might. All right? No. They're dishonest, and you can break them relatively easily as a result. Okay? They're flawed, theoretically. Okay? So, sit back in the stack. All right? John is now going to guard the dump. Okay? So imagine this deep poach. Here's an alternate way. Actually, John, one. Imagine now that we are breaking it another way. All right. For some reason, that way didn't work. That's a very simple way, but there are reasons it might not work. It might bring on a third person if you ever pull a guy in the middle like that, and that makes it confusing. There's some pretty complex poaches, which get rid of the easiest ways of breaking them. So here's just the most fundamental, kind of impossible to stop all outright way to break a poach, and that's by swinging. All right, swinging is one of the most important fundamentals to the game. All right, so what's going to happen here is we have our dump. The beloved dump, Jeff, is going to make a dump cut. Now you might be saying, why not an upline cut first? We always have upline cut before dump cuts. Well, we're not in our traditional offensive system right now. All right, because they're playing dishonest defense. All right, and you might be saying, well, what if he's not really playing dishonest defense, but he is, and that's very common. So I'll be guarding Daniel, and I'll see somebody cut, and then I'll pop out, right, and he'll finish his cut, and then I'll come back, right? You get a lot of complex defenses, and the more improvised they are, often the harder they are to stop. All right,